see great things happening, I cannot help myself. Because I've seen things that happen, and I want the public to know that this is what, I guess what I represent is to keep giving all the good things to good people. So I'm gonna try like everything to not make that happen again. If it does, please, don't hesitate to ask me to not make any comment, because that is not proper during the meeting. So that is what I want to say this evening. But again, thank you all for what you do and for what you're going to do, and today's a special day for Jonathan, so absolutely, thank you.
Well, thank you. And to be honest, there is no one in the world. And that's up to respect. Introduction of the police. Wait a minute. Is there a dog in here?
He's on your schedule, I think he's right on in right now. He's got the same day that you're having. So.
Reggie.
We felt it appropriate to make a grand entrance, and so we timed this appropriately, and this is Reggie.
No, wait a minute. Which one is Reggie?
The four-legged ones, one with the big arms.
Oh my God.
As Tony walks around, this is our SRO, Tony Klein, and our newest addition is Reggie, our therapy dog. I'll have Tony introduce him to everybody, and then what I'd like you to do, Tony, is just share a couple of stories about how we got Reggie, and then if you could, just one or two of your success stories so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Reggie's 13 weeks old now. He's an Australian Labradoodle. We got him from Blueberry Cottage Labradoodle over in Osseo. She donates the fire departments, police departments, hospitals, schools. Yeah, all over the nation. She's got people in Massachusetts she donates to. It's been awesome. So we started our formal training when he's 4.5 months. So we still got a couple months to go. Then we're gonna go to Dan Leonard here in town, full ordinance officer for us. But he's been night and day in the school so far. It's been pretty amazing. Pretty well. Yeah. Pretty sad.
You know,
A little wet over there.
I expected, this is a police department dog, it's supposed to be big with teeth, and that's just a snuggle one.
Once we get Reggie settled in here, Tony can share a couple of really neat success stories that we've had already. Really solidifies the decision that you all made to support this program, we appreciate it.
Well, I'm a fan already, I don't care about the rest. I really didn't expect to have, how much will Reggie weigh?
If you get, anywhere from 40 to 6 pounds. It'll be medium size. Yeah. I think the biggest story was the so far is this past week we were called over to grant school. There was a 9-year-old severely autistic boy that was for more than an hour and a half straight. He was fighting, spitting, kicking, hitting. All the teachers, they couldn't get him under control, so they had him confined in like their safe room with padded walls. And then his parents showed up, and he was doing the same to them for about 45 minutes straight. So finally they called us. We showed up, and literally within 20 seconds, the kid was sitting up with a smile on his face, and it was just snapped out of it. Or like the look on the principal's faces, we're just in shock of how quickly that de-escalated it. What else?
Well, I'll tell you, no, I gotta tell you, that if I were in a room and screaming and hitting and biting, and that dog came in, I'd be Nice.
Yeah, we, 20 will be at every police and fire commission meeting from now on. We had a similar incident at the high school yesterday.
I wish I thought that was funny.
There was a student yesterday at the high school that was threatening to hurt her teacher, and then she tried to physically assault her. And then she was laying on the ground refusing to stand up, and I walked Reggie over, and once again, within 20 seconds, she was up walking with me back to the office, and everything was okay. Not only that, just like the avenues of communication it opened up with students I wouldn't approach me otherwise. It just kind of brings everyone together. It's pretty cool to see.
Well, I think you're very fortunate. That's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, he's been pretty perfect.
And we thank you guys for supporting this program, and we look to really help it grow and make it a successful one. It's already off to a really good launch, so.
Well, thank you for the good idea about getting the dog in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think there's gonna be a significant benefit to the community in having that little animal.
I think this will be a standard moving forward for our profession at least.
Yeah.
At least I hope so.
Okay. Well, Reggie, welcome, and thank you for getting up this morning. The phone call I had before I came in was from my wife. We're taking care of my son's 2 dogs as well as our own. And this was not a good morning. I don't know how you live without a dog. But anyway, listen, thank you, and we appreciate you bringing
Thank you
him
guys
in.
for your support.
And you're welcome to stay as long as you like. Or you're welcome to
Or as short
leave.
as you like.
Yeah.
Reggie's gotta get to work.
All right.
Okay.
This is his time to shine in the morning.
Yeah.
When they're walking in, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
The next item on our agenda is election of officers, which we will not do today because we're not a full commission. Commissioner, see, this gets complicated a little. Commissioner Gershman was to be renewed in his appointment, and there are statutory requirements for that, and they got a little messed up, and so he won't be renewed in his position until next
2 weeks.
meeting, the 28th.
Correct.
Yeah. And I don't want to have elections without the full board being present, so we'll leave that go to next meeting. Approval of minutes of the April 11th, 2024 regular meeting.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Are there corrections, changes, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Who's doing the oath of office? Oh, yeah, you do that, right. I wondered why you were here.
Just see Reggie.
I tell you, that is really a nice little dog. I want me one of those. Well, get at it. It's time.
If it's all right, I'll start. Little introduction. Jonathan Altman started with the Marshfield Fire and Rescue Department on October 13, 2008. In December of 2017, he was promoted to the assignment of Relief Lieutenant and once again promoted in April 2023 of the rank of Lieutenant. When Chief Floody resigned from the Marshfield Fire and Rescue Department, John was assigned as the acting shift commander for Blue Shift to fill the vacancy of mine when I moved to interim chief. At the April 2024 Fire and Police Commission meeting, he was promoted to the rank of deputy chief and assigned as the permanent shift commander of the Blue Shift. In addition to various state and national certifications John holds, he also obtained his associate's degree in fire medic from Buffalo Valley Technical College, as well as his bachelor's degree in organizational leadership with an emphasis in leadership in public service from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. John has a role in moving the department forward through his committee work, as well as his lead-by-example attitude. Prior to becoming deputy chief, he chaired the Public Education Committee and the Technology Committee, and was an active member on various others. This committee work has shown his leadership ability as well as his ability to keep things organized in a manner that will allow for individual and departmental success. When John was assigned as Blue Shift's training lieutenant, he had an expectation that everyone will train together, regardless of years of service or rank, to ensure all members are trained to the best of everyone's ability, thusly building a strong team. John's education, experience, personal attributes, and commitment to the department has readied him for the promotion to Shift Command Deputy Chief. Once again, I'm proud to introduce Deputy Chief John Altman for his oath. If City Clerk and John could come up for his oath, please.
Be on camera, not in your way, okay? You'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. So I state your name.
I, Jonathan Altman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the municipal code of the City of
and the
Marshfield,
municipal code of the City of Marshfield.
and will perform these duties
I will perform these duties
to which I have been selected
to which I have been selected
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
And the next part is something that's really special, the pinning. We bring up Brooke, Noah, and Audrey. Get it set up for this picture. This is what you need. Pinning is something special that I'll give you the badge to pin him on. This is special because these promotions and everything with the fire department, it's not just John doing this job, it's a support he also gets at home from everyone there. It's very special, so I'm with it. Thank you.
John, come down this way.
On my way.
Commissioners need to congratulate you too.
Congratulations, gentlemen. This is for the leadership.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, you're all welcome to stay.
We have a slogan.
We are.
I thought it was breakfast.
She's also a school teacher out at Nason Mills, so we appreciate her taking time out of her day to come do this, so very appreciative.
Yeah, well, she would do that. All right. Fire service and law enforcement news updates. Have at it.
Okay, got quite a few. The first item that you should have should be labeled at the top A. These were law enforcement agencies awarded grants from the state from the opioid settlement funds. On the oversight page, there's an outline of those. Nearest agency to us that received a grant was Jackson County. Most of the grants were for jail-based programs dealing with opioid abuse. And the average grant for jail-based programs was $302,615. On the next page, labeled C. This is another case of a community shifting from private EMS to a fire-based program. This happened, this is in Kingston, New York, which is in the lower Hudson River Valley, north of New York City. They have a population of 24,000, which is somewhat close to us. They are currently served by Empress EMS, which has been in existence since 1985. They serve basically that same area north of New York City. It's a fairly large operation, 200+ personnel. However, they had a contract increase, which depending upon the level of service was going to be from $500,000 to $1 million. And the city decided to go the route of seeking a fire service grant to move into a fire-based EMS service, and various details and summaries are included. On page F, this is a quote from the president of the Police Officers Union in Houston, Texas. Another example of a large city which is having difficulty in hiring, also difficulty retaining people. As he says, the people are leaving right and left. And the executive director of the police union in Houston noted, who the heck wants to be a police officer in 2024? The state of Minnesota did a study, and they found that a large number of Minnesota officers would not recommend law enforcement to friends and family. Again, negative attitudes. And you'll note that in Houston, in 2014, the total force was 5,600, and today it's 5,000. North Carolina, for those that are interested in vehicles, North Carolina Highway Patrol is adding 25 2024 Mustang GTs to its fleet. Santa Fe County, New Mexico, they're seeking $8 million to replace a radio system which has reached the end of its useful life. On page G, this actually refers back to the Houston situation. This is a graph of law enforcement officers in Wisconsin going from 2008 to current, and you'll notice the active officers have declined rather greatly. Item H, or page H, we've got I-95. We seem to have a lot of incidents on Interstate 95. Ladder truck used in the blocking unit was struck by a motor vehicle entering the crash zone. 2 firefighters were injured. On a connector route to I-95 in Connecticut, another blocking unit struck at high speed, and 2 firefighters were saved from injury by the blocking unit. Another traffic incident, semi turns in front of an ambulance. This was in Kentucky, and the paramedic and the patient were killed. As Chief has pointed out, deploying spike strips is extremely dangerous. A Milwaukee officer was injured, actually struck by a vehicle as he was deploying the strips. And in Nebraska, this I think is the 3rd or 4th one in 2 months where an officer in a squad car parked on the shoulder was struck from behind. Line of duty deaths in the fire service. Lexington, North Carolina, fire captain burned over 66% of his body. And in Milwaukee, there was a Mayday call. The firefighter was trapped in the house. He was rescued, but he suffered burns over 23% of his body, and his gear was basically burned up. Law enforcement is a different story. This has not been good for law enforcement. In January, there were 7 line of duty law enforcement deaths nationwide. February was 15, March it was 19, and in April it was 24. and the most recent one in April would have been the ambush of the U.S. Marshals Task Force in Charlotte, North Carolina. Associated with that, on your table, you will have printed double sides. This is an obituary written by the 12-year-old son of one of the people that was killed on the task force. Do not read it now. You will not get through the meeting. Read it afterwards. And I told Detective Lou that if she wanted to read this, she could tonight. And she said, no, no, no. I said, well, that's why we have a chaplain. We can read it. I don't know what's going to be done with that. Associated with that, there is a comment here about the funeral for Officer Diller in New York. That was a high-profile shooting. The interesting thing that's happened nationwide with officer down situations, elected politicians, especially in what are referenced as blue cities, are finding out their comments are coming home to roost, and they are being told, don't show up at memorial services for downed officers. Do not attend the funerals. Do not attend the wakes. In New York, Governor Hochul found that out very bluntly when she was confronted at the front of the funeral home by a family member and told to leave. Recently, there was a funeral for Officer Luis Huesca in Chicago. He had just finished shift. He was driving home. He was carjacked, shot 10 times. His family made it very clear that Mayor Johnson and Governor Pritzker were not welcome at the funeral. In Burnsville, Minnesota, doesn't deal with the funeral, but it dealt with the press conference following the shooting that killed 2 officers and the SWAT team paramedic. The governor's office in Minnesota kept calling Burnsville, asking to have the governor speak. And the Burnsville people that were putting together the press conference were adamant that no elected politicians would be speaking. They did not want any political overtones at the press conference. So they had the city manager, police chief, fire chief, and a representative from the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in Minnesota. They spoke. And as soon as they left, Governor Walz walked up to the podium and made comments. And he was not invited, and he received extreme criticism for doing so. So as politicians have found out a number of locales, once you speak up against the police, once you make negative comments, defund the police, question integrities, you suffer the consequences. Then there are 2 fire-related items, and I included these 2. One, this month was the 5th anniversary of Notre Dame Cathedral fire in France. April 1st was also the anniversary of the Pennycourt fire. And there was, on the Easter weekend, there was a fire in a church in Brooklyn, New York. I think, as our people can tell you, church fires, especially fires in older structures, are losers. You do not win. On the positive side, in California, a kidnapping victim was saved with the assistance of a drone, which provided real-time intelligence. Wausau, the city council approved a community paramedic program out of the fire department. And the last item, one of the assistant chiefs, retired assistant chiefs in La Crosse, bought an old fire station. One of the battalion chiefs in Wausau did the same thing. And concern that everybody has is that doesn't become a money pit trying to renovate. The interesting thing about the lacrosse fire station, and you can see a picture, with the exception of the front on the lower left of the picture, when you drive by, you don't even know it's a fire station. It fits so well into the neighborhood. And when Chief Cleveland had left us and had gone down to La Crosse, I had a chance to visit with him, and he said the interesting thing about there, the apparatus floor still had part of the original wooden floor. Cool. So it was time to replace that. That's all that I have, Mr. Keel.
Thank you very much. Going forward, fire department bills. Chief.
Thank you. You'll see in your packet, you'll see 2 sets of bills. First set approved by Commissioner Panker May 1st. The second approved by Commissioner Meek on May 15th. As I was looking it over, I really didn't see anything that was that stood out to me. So I would recommend you approve unless there's any questions.
Are there any questions about the fire department bills? Hearing none, how about a motion?
Yeah, I would move to approve the fire department bills.
Second.
This side of the table's getting right at it. Thank you. Any comments or questions before we vote? Requires a roll call, please.
Pinker,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Keo.
Yes.
Thank you.
How about the police department bills, chief?
Thank you, good morning. In your packets, there are 2 sets of bills, both of them signed by Commissioner Keel, first on May 1st and this other one on May 15th. One item I wanted to bring to your attention is on page 10D, like David. Hero, there's one on there, it's called Hero Industries, right up on the top. That's the vendor that makes those plush canine dogs for us. We are adding Reggie to our fleet. We think that, I think you guys will agree that Reggie will probably sell like hotcakes, and so we want to get some plush dolls out there for people to buy to help support our canine program, to include the other canines as well. So I wanted to bring your attention to that to show some more fundraising. Nothing else really stood out to me, but I would entertain any questions before I ask for your approval.
Down on the bottom of page 10D, Glock armorer training. I'm just curious, what is our replacement cycle on the handguns?
They're every 5 years.
Okay. Are we coming close?
We're probably about halfway through since we transitioned to 9mm.
Yeah.
The reason that we replace every 5 years is that since we keep our magazines loaded all the time, those springs in the magazines wear. And it comes to the point where replacing the magazines isn't much different than actually what we get for the guns. So
They're unusually expensive.
yeah, well, we replace the guns, and most of the time officers will buy their old ones, or we can trade them in. If we buy the old ones, it goes towards offsetting the cost of the new ones, and if we trade them in, that also offsets that cost.
Why did you go to 9mm?
They're smaller, so we can fit more capacity, and they've increased the ammunition to where they're much more effective than they were in the past. We started, our law enforcement in general, a lot of law enforcement agencies, when they went to semi-autos, started out with 9mm, but they weren't getting penetration. Ammunition has improved to make it a better round.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Has there been any update on a solution for the battery location in the new squad?
Haven't, not yet. You'll see there's been, I think, another replacement in there. We're working on it. It's a design flaw with the cage, so.
Yeah, I got to see one myself because
It's impressive.
I know the mechanic that's trying to do it. he hasn't said anything to me over the last month, so I wasn't sure if they figured it out or.
We haven't yet.
I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't hear your question.
So there's, in the new squads where the battery location is,
Oh.
it's kind of underneath where the cage bolts to the floor of the vehicle, so you can't access the battery real easy. You just gotta take
Cage out.
the cage out to get to it, and it's not very convenient for sure.
Well, you know, they
It
don't.
makes a battery replacement from a 10-minute job to a half a day.
Yeah, well, they did, you know, they didn't design it to make it easy for you guys.
Yeah, part of the problem is that, you know, our squad cars are retrofitted with a lot of equipment. Vehicles change, you know, yearly. And so the cages didn't keep up with the vehicles. So I'm sure that there'll be a fix. We just haven't had it yet.
Yeah. And that increased costs, of course.
It does.
Of course, you could put a Michigan State Police light on the roof and put the battery in.
I don't think the batteries could handle that.
That's just one big light.
Yeah. Big
They did go to LEDs though.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Well, for a while, there was a shortage of lighthouse lights too. I need a motion to approve the police department bills.
Move to approve the police department bills.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? All in favor of, no, excuse me, we have to have a roll call, let's do this with money.
Pinker,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes. Looks to me like the police department's trying to get it spent early this year.
No, we're not.
Fire department activities, training reports, and correspondence packet.
Thank you. You'll see in section 11 of your packet, starting with the activities reports. Now that the weather's getting better, you're going to see Deputy Chief Mueller a lot in our activities reports, doing anything from food trucks to non-compliance inspections, to a lot of different things where fire prevention things ramp up now when festivals are coming in, and doing pre-plans for events and everything. So you're seeing a lot of that. Also, I want to note in there, Chaplain Nate Smith, that a few months ago this commission approved him as a chaplain. He spent a lot of time here and is spending a lot of time here. I want to publicly thank him for that. He's making connections and everything with our people, so that if they are in need of anything, he's built up that trust. An amazing individual. Give kudos to him, and I want to thank the commission for approving him to be part of that. Very special person, and a well-deserved person on our team.
Interrupt you for a second. You said you said food trucks.
Yes.
I noticed a week or two ago, and I don't understand it, there was a University of Wisconsin Stevens Point food truck on the campus up on the hill.
I'm not aware of that one, so that would be something I would need to look into as far as the UW Stevens Point one.
Yeah.
I know there's quite a few that we have in our system. We try to do those on an annual basis, and that goes along with their licensure.
Yeah.
So we try to get involved with that with the city clerk.
You know, I don't know if it's there every, I just drove through, I don't know if it's there every day.
Sure.
And I assume if it's coming out of the university, someone's looking at it to make sure it meets somebody's standard.
Yep. We'll.
But I think look and check it out.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, and one good thing about that, and Everett, you're more of an expert on it than I am, but in the last, I believe it was the last council meeting, they approved a bunch of changes for the city ordinances that cleans up a lot of the language for food trucks, what can and cannot be done and where they can be located, everything. I think chapter 9, that was all through that. So Jessica's not here, but Big kudos to her for updating the ordinances in the city. A lot of that stuff hasn't been, I believe it was 1984, was a lot of the ordinances hadn't been looked at yet. So Jessica's doing a very good job with that, to be able to do that. But the food truck things wasn't something obviously in 1984.
Yeah, that's-
something that was addressed on where they can be and everything like that, so.
New issue.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fine. Thank you.
Yep, continuing with my report here, on the last page, I believe it's 11L, you're gonna see our responses for the month of April. The one thing I just wanna let everyone know is if you take 41 responses and 253 EMS responses, and you add those together and try to divide it by the number of days in April, which I believe is 30. Don't want to sing the song. And you say that it's not 9.2 average calls per day. The reason for that, just so everyone understands, so just statistically you're not being confused with it, is that there are some instances where an engine goes along with an ambulance to a call. They are considered, we have one incident with that, and that goes on the overall incident, even though that it is in the statistics when the engine leaves. So we're not double dipping saying that it's two separate incidents when you have multiple resources at the same one. There are departments out there that do that. Every single rig gets their own report, which is the way that they do it. That's not the way that we do it here. Once an incident, if it's 3 different units that go, that's one incident. So if you look statistically on there and you're understanding, you don't think that we're doing math correct, we are, but we want to reflect what's actually going on. The main thing is that we're averaging, you'll see on there, that's at 9.2 calls this month. It was down a little bit. So we average anywhere between 10 and 11. That's normally kind of where we're at with it. So another busy month with calls. We did 208 fire inspections and also had over 430 hours of training in the month of April. So if one thing that we always try to say is that if call volume is down, if we're here, we're doing maintenance on the building, on our apparatus, or doing training with that. Our lieutenants do a very good job in getting a plan together with all of our people here. If anyone has any questions, otherwise I'll leave it at that.
I've got a bunch of questions.
Sure.
On the first of the month, there was Philip monitor training. Is that something for EMS?
Yes. So we look at buying new monitors, our heart monitors for the ambulances, and there are different manufacturers that are out there. Part of the EMS committee wanted to bring in different manufacturers, and Philips is a brand of defibrillator that they came in so that people could look at them and demonstrate whether we wanted to change over to that technology.
Okay. And I'm going to just jump ahead on an item.
Sure.
This is on the 3rd. Deputy Chief met with Dan Wall at the training center to discuss MSTC needs. Could we put that as a future agenda item so we get a good idea as to what's going on with our training center?
Absolutely.
Then on May 6th, there was an active shooter case review task force presentation given by Chief Lipsky from Milwaukee. I was there, Lori was there, our shift people were there, people from the PD were there. Excellent presentation describing how police and fire responded to a shooting incident last year in the Miller Coors Brewery. It was very interesting. Down to the 15th of the month, Nick Robinson from Channel 9 was here. I mentioned them before. I think Channel 9 has given us some very good coverage for what we do at our department. And for Everett, Shamrock Painting to discuss painting for the station. What are we gonna be painting?
Looking at trying to set up a part where we can start to paint different parts of the station throughout the
Okay.
years. The station is getting into the 15th year. We're looking to do is try to revamp some of those spaces. If you look at the main hallway, we're actually looking at some areas that are
Okay.
starting to take a little bit of a beating and just from the use of time. And it's starting to fade a little bit, so we're looking at how we can do that in a practical manner, divvying it out through many years.
Okay.
So how much we can do each year.
So in other words, a painting program.
Yes.
Two more questions. This is down on the 23rd. Hazmat spill leak control, Hazmat IQ. Is Hazmat IQ still on the same version, or has that been updated?
We haven't updated it, so the last time we paid to get it updated was 2 years ago. I believe there was another update through Hazmat IQ, but it's not anything we've moved towards.
Because I could not find a public, there is a public version that was available, but I can't find the updated version.
Yeah, so for everyone that's out there, Hazmat IQ is a system, a quick system for like people in the engine to be able to, if we have a chemical spill, how that we can do a quick assessment in it so that we can mitigate the situation without having our people going too far into a possible chemical issue. They're flip cards where you can get down anywhere from the chemical name all the way to the physical properties of it, or whatever information you have to try to make the right decision. Whether there's some chemicals where you can just use your SCBA, your breathing apparatus, and your fire gear, and then there's other ones where you have to use the Class A fully encapsulated suits. So if you have, we want to figure out what type of protection you need for these incidents. And what Commissioner Penker is saying that there's different versions that this company brings on. They update them all the time. We haven't, like I said, updated them in a couple of years. The stuff that we have is effective, but with their training platform, they're finding out as they moved on with their company model is that what they want to do is put people under contract to be able to get the training. So they would have a chemical of the month where we could practice that, and we do incorporate that with that, but we're using some of the old technology. But during their business plan, they've kind of tightened that up a little bit, and that's absolutely correct.
Okay, so that's probably why 2.0 or 3.0 is not available to the public.
I would agree.
Okay. Last item, chimney poles. What are chimney poles?
Do you want to speak on that?
Sure.
You've got that.
The chimney poles are utilized when we have chimney fires. So in case we get a big block in an area, we do have chimney chains where we'll chain that and get all the debris out so it falls down to the bottom. And these, that would be a point where we can take out those bigger chunks in there if we can't get through and actually get the fire suppression efforts where they need to be. So we're just looking at new ones to see if we can't replace some of the ones that we have, see if there's a better way of doing it.
Open up the blockages for chimney fire. If I could please just circle back, I did forget something, and Deputy Chief Bacus would not forgive me if I forgot this point, because it's a note in my office that I didn't transfer. May 7th through the 12th, you'll see that Deputy Chief Bacus attended the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. The one thing that I wanted to point out with that is that he went there for a class that basically gives him techniques to do a quality assurance program for our EMS and our ambulance, for our people individually and direction with that, looking at different programs that you can do to basically not only track skills, but to be able to put a plan together to keep progressing with skills on the ambulance. This class, basically, he had to fill out an application, I had to fill out an application, and everything was out there. It was very minimal cost. All the travel was picked up by the school. We had to you know, obviously just feed them and some tolls going through that state to the south of us. Other than that, you know, this was a lot of very good education for a cheap amount, and I appreciate Deputy Chief Bakis going to it. He said that it was some of the best education he's had in his career. So we're gonna do our best to try to promote that and have any of our members go that can be able to go. So, I apologize for not saying that earlier. So, any other questions?
I just want to add a comment.
Yes.
Months ago, we saw some items about testing battery-powered equipment to replace some of our gasoline-powered equipment. I had a chance to see some of the body cam footage from NYPD's emergency service unit when they were breaking into the barricaded building at Columbia University. And they were using battery-powered sawzalls and surgical saws, and they said it worked very well.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I'll be the first one to say that obviously I've been around for over 30 years here, and the first battery operated things that we had, there were a lot of challenges just because of the technology of batteries. Right now the technology is up so high that a battery operated piece of equipment outperforms, and just for maneuverability, many of the other ones, from our JAWS units to our positive pressure fans, to, like you said, sawzalls, to hand saws, to chainsaws, and even scene lights. I mean, when I first started, at night, if you'd have a fire, you tried to put scene lights on, it was, you know, huge 10 gauge cords that you're dragging around with huge lights that you'd have to set up, and generators and things like that. Now it's simply a Milwaukee, you know, battery that we're putting into a scene light. It's amazing the technology, where it's come from, and everything, and we're embracing it slowly, because obviously with the budgetary, this last year we made strides because we did have older technology, battery powered positive pressure fans. Those batteries were dying, and to replace the old technology batteries, it was an internal battery, was cost prohibitive. And through the budget process, we were able to get some new positive pressure fans where we can put Milwaukee batteries on and take them off. So that the good thing with that is that they do last a long time, but if you do have a extended incident, you can just change the batteries, because we have other batteries on the department. So, good point.
Anything else? Bill?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief?
Okay, thanks.
Jody?
This month, you'll see we had a lot of, it was a pretty busy month. We had a lot of training, community engagements, and meetings. There wasn't anything that stuck out to me to highlight, but you may think differently, and I'd be certainly willing to answer any questions that you may have about our activities as well before placing them on file.
Any comments or questions for the police chief? Apparently there are none, so it's a terrific report from my perspective.
Thank you very much.
We have at least one item for a future meeting. Are there any others?
Two things, an update on the Buffalo building would be nice.
All right.
And then, I don't know where in the process we're gonna get to calling a special meeting for the application hiring process of the fire chief, or where that stands.
Next meeting, I'd be glad to report. Anything else? Hearing no additional business for the assembly, Robert's rule says that the chair can adjourn the meeting. We're adjourned.